Hey everybody, and welcome to 5-Minute Fridays. Well, first off, I want to say Happy New Year. We are officially in 2023, and thanks for tuning into this video. I pray that you have a great new year, that you have some changes or some resolutions you want to make in your life as you're looking over the past year of 2022. Of all the different things that you can do, make a resolution to grow in your faith, to spend more time in your Bible or in prayer. Make sure those things are on top of the list. Well, 2 weeks ago, we looked at John chapter 11, so we'll be in John chapter 12 today. And a couple weeks ago, we talked about Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. And we'll be looking at Lazarus again today. So in John chapter 1, we'll be looking at verses 1 to 3. And John says this in John 12:1. Then 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany where Lazarus, who had been dead, whom he raised from the dead. And there they made him a supper. Martha served, but Lazarus was one who sat at the table with him. Then Mary took a pound of very costly oil of spikenard, anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of oil. I read this chapter a couple times, and this is what really stood out to me. We have these three characters, right? Mary, Martha, and Jesus. And they're all doing something different in response to Jesus being at their house. And I thought it was so applicable to me and to us as believers, three different ways that we can respond to Jesus. They're all important, but I do think they come in a list of what should happen first, second, and third. So first, let's look at what Lazarus is doing. Right? Jesus is there for supper and Lazarus is sitting with Jesus. He's speaking with Jesus. He's learning from Jesus, right? And that is one of the most important things for us, especially when we're younger in our faith, but all throughout our faith. And this is in Bible study, discipleship, prayer, listening to messages during the day, all these different things where we're growing in our faith. And that's what Lazarus was doing in this story. So next we come to Mary. Mary took it a step farther. She anointed Jesus. She wiped his feet with her hair using this very costly fragrance or perfume that she had. So she took it a step farther and she was worshiping Jesus. She gave something. She gave up something. And that is our next step, is to worship God. And worship comes in many different forms. And it's not just singing at church. Worship can be an all-day thing. It's just putting God before ourselves. It's speaking to God, praying to God, hearing from him, responding to his word. Yes, it's worshiping and singing at church or at home, in the car, whenever you want to listen to worship music. It is definitely that as well. So after we're learning about Jesus, learning about our own depravity and his love for us, out of our heart just flows a need and a want to worship God. And then finally, we get to Martha, who's mentioned first in this verse, and she is serving Jesus. And after we learn, after we worship, we should finally come to a point where we're serving God. This may take a while in your Christian life. We're all at different points. We all have different types of service for the Lord. All different things that God has for us. Don't be concerned with what other people are doing. Only be concerned with what God is asking of you to serve him. And service, again, can be at church. That's a great place locally to get involved in all different types of ministries, from children to middle age to adults to seniors to homeless. Church is just a great opportunity and a great area to be with other believers to serve. But serving can be at your home with your family, your children, at work, in your community, and in where you live. Serving is putting other people before your own needs. And that's what Jesus did. That's what we see that he did all throughout the Gospels. But it's not just a social thing. Yes, we serve people and it is a social thing, but as Christians, we're also sharing the love of God and we're sharing the gospel with them, because that is what changes hearts, and that's what changed our heart. So hey, be encouraged today. Maybe be a little convicted, as I was, that we need to have all three of these things in our lives as Christians: learning, growing, worshiping, and serving. Hey, God bless you. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great 2023, and we'll see you next week right here looking at John chapter 13.